Thank you for waking up with Happy Ass, where we come together to grow in mind, body, and spirit so we can in turn go out and make the world a brighter and sweeter place to live for ourselves and for others. And I'm super excited because I am here with Daniel Pratt, owner of Panama City Coffee and a local musician. But we're going to talk about all that because I think coffee is kind of like getting ahead of the musician stuff right now.
Center stage.
Yeah. So, Daniel, I'm going to say this about you. You're a music maker, a coffee maker, a husband, a father, and so many other things. I've known you for many years, and I've always known you to be gentle, yet bold, and persistent, and kind of a quiet man, but still get your word out there. You get your message there. And I think you're deeply honorable. You're a very honorable man. You're a man that I always feel very comfortable in your presence, and you're very kind. So I'm very, very grateful for that. I want to find out more about what you're doing these days. I mean, I kind of know, but, what happened? How did we end up from music to coffee? What made you do that, and when did you do that?
I had kids.
That'll do it.
So, I have single friends that don't know what they want to do with their life. I'm like, you just need to get married and have kids. It'll solve that problem real quick for you. It'll put a fire under your butt and you'll have to do something. In 2020, I kind of had to choose. All right, I can do one thing really well, or I can do two things mediocre.
Yeah.
So which one am I going to go? And honestly, just in praying in fact, we took a trip and we just went to the mountains, my wife and I, and we just kind of just thought and prayed, and we're like, I think there's life on this coffee thing. As you know, when you start a business, you're doing two other things to support.
Just two?
You're doing a bunch of other things to support this little human, aka your business that you just created. And it really feels like that. I mean, since 2020, what? It's 26. It feels like a 6-year-old child that is like, okay, it's starting to walk now, starting to learn curse words, starting to.
Well, it's kind of funny, when you said 20, and I do remember it was 2020 because I had you at my office with your little coffee cart. So, but I started my Happy Ass Life in 2020. And I started it in response to COVID as a way to put a happy, positive message out there for others. And that's the whole reason I started it, and have continued to do it and love it. It's not been a moneymaker yet. This is the first year in 5 years. So if you're
Isn't that crazy?
If you're an impatient person, please don't start a business. Just don't. Just go work for somebody.
Yeah.
If everybody's not meant to be an entrepreneur. Do you think that?
100%.
Yeah.
Now, I do think entrepreneurship will build into you more than what, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of therapy sessions could do.
Oh my God. You learn a lot. And we're going to talk about that in a minute.
Because you have to actually work through tensions in live time. And
in real time.
I hate to say this, but money's on the line, and it forces you to come to a solution, because you might typically just say, well, I'm just never going to talk to that person again, or I'm going to distance myself. You don't get to do that in business. When it's an employee-employer relationship, you got to work that shit out.
You got to work it out, baby. Work it out.
Yeah.
Well, the funny thing for me, when I first started my company in 2010, it's no secret to my audience that money has never been my spiritual gift. God is just taking care of me. It's kind of like my kids used to say, Mom, I have had most of my spiritual experiences by riding in the car with you. And I feel like I've had most of my spiritual experience because God has just walked me through the craziest times with money, lack of money and stuff like that, because I really don't have any fear of money. Now, do I think I need to be better with it? Absolutely, because I think I could go further faster if I was smarter about money. So that's kind of one of my goals this year. One of the things that I've had to do for me is depend on other people that are smarter than me in other areas, and kind of focus on the areas I'm good at. But I'm going to stop here for just a minute. We're going to go all over the place, but I want to ask you something, or I'm going to tell you a story. Because you told me that you liked the book Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I hadn't picked it up in a long time because it was one of my husband's favorite.
Wow.
Because he was an everyday meditator. I mean, every day without fail meditator. And so that was a big book in our home, and he gave it away to a lot of people. But I'm going to tell you the story. So Eckhart Tolle, I don't know if you know this story or not. You may already know it, but act like you don't. Okay, just pretend like you don't. Okay. So when Eckhart first published his first book in 1997, he only printed 3,000 copies. And the way he got it out there is he would just go himself to different bookstores and pass out.
Hand it out.
Just hand it out. Just hand it out. And then he'd get his friends to also hand them out. And all of his stuff, the many, for 5 years was word of mouth, And then he went on the Oprah Winfrey Show and honey, hush. I mean, and then it was became a national New York Times bestseller. Mm-hmm. But I read that story again because I hadn't read it in a long time. And it made me think of you because you started with your little coffee cart. I mean, think about that.
Yeah.
You started with a coffee cart that was not much bigger than this table. If you're on the other channels other than YouTube, you can't see it, but it's a small coffee table. And you had, but it was darling.
It was cute.
It was dark. It wasn't just cute. It was darling.
And then I couldn't wait to get out of it because I was just known as the cute guy on the bike. And I was like, I'm building something bigger than this.
Okay, let's stop a minute. If somebody called me the cute girl with a bike, I'd be going, bring it on, baby, bring it on.
Okay, yeah.
I wouldn't be mad about that.
I had kids.
But you're a guy, though. I know you had to be more.
I'm like, this isn't going to work.
You had to be more than the cute guy on the bike,
yes,
right?
I get it.
So how many years did you do it on the bike?
Up until, for 3 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
3 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Up until, I mean, even when we then did an Airstream or a food truck.
Oh, that was cute too, though.
Yeah, and that's kind of just been our motto is, okay, well, even if we do it and it's small, we're going to do it well and with excellence.
Oh, beautiful.
And you can
classy.
tell when something's done, like they just threw 2 pieces of wood together and said, I'm open for business, or when somebody spent some energy. And so I will say that's been one thing that we've done. But yeah, that was 3 years of, like you with the podcast every day.
Yeah, every day.
Morning.
Every day, showing up.
Yeah, just showing up every day. 3
no matter
days,
how it felt.
I was like, I'm going to do, because the Instagram grid is 3 across, right? So I was like, all right, well, in order to show and it feel like I'm really moving and shaking and I'm out doing this thing all the time, I got to do this 3 days a week. So that was my benchmark, is 3 days a week. I got to be somewhere out in the town, from the West End to the East End. And
well, one of my most memorable times, and my office still talks about it, was when I had you come to my office and set up the coffee cart and, serve all my agents coffee and stuff. And I just paid you and they just got to get coffee, and
which I couldn't believe somebody would pay me. You got to understand, like, there's like salt shed, right?
Yeah.
I used to stand at a salt shed. I would sit there for what? Like, coffee's early too, right? So 7 a.m. So you're up at 5 to like get it. And I would sit at salt shed, and either whether cold or a hot summer day, and sometimes till like 2 p.m. And I would do like 2 sales or 3 sales.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
If I'd known that, I would have gone every day.
Well, I know, but you can't tell people that because it's like
they think you suck.
I was just listening. What was I reading today? 7 Highly Effective Habits.
Oh yeah, Stephen Covey.
And he just talks about, you've got to start with the end in mind. You got to see where you're going, and you got to pull that baby forward.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, I'm not there now, but I know where this thing is building to, and you got to believe in you.
100%.
Because, mom believes in you for the first month, and and your friends think it's cool until they're like, you're still doing that thing?
Yeah.
My amount of times I heard that, you're still doing that thing? Yes, I'm still doing this thing.
Yeah.
Because you have to believe, no, this is what I am supposed to do, and I'm going to do this until I freaking
can't do it anymore. I love it. I love it. Well, this is a perfect time to do this. So speaking of people believing in you, grab your Pepsi. So we need to do a cheers to Pepsi. Because Buffalo Rock is one of my biggest, they're my premium sponsor. They believe in me, they love me, and I love them. I mean, they have a great drink, but that's not what I love them for. I love them because they're just great out in the community, and they love to support the community. I'm also thankful for Holiday Beach Mechanical. not just because they love me and they support my podcast, but oh my gosh, plumbing, electrical, air conditioning. So they are at my house and my office all the time. Yeah. So I'm very thankful for them. Of course, Amore Boutique dresses me, Jute and Palm, Can't Hide Pretty, and I am so grateful for them. And we'll mention some of the other sponsors towards the end of the podcast, but without them, I could not continue to do what I do. So I love y'all. Thank you. And community, please love my peeps. All right. Appreciate it. So the thing I want to ask you too, that, you were talking about, so you started in 2020, you were on the little cart, and everything. But when you came to my office, like, I remember thinking it wouldn't dawn on me to have you sit at my office and just depend on my people to buy a cup of coffee. I wanted to make sure that you were taken care of, and I love that. I wish I could do that all the time because that's so much fun to me. Nothing makes me happier.
That's why you're successful. That's why people love you.
Makes me so happy.
Because you did the math probably, like, this wasn't really worth this guy's time, was it? So I don't remember but I remember leaving, that event and being like, oh, wow, that's what generosity feels like. It's a impartation into another person.
Well, I've been really blessed because people have been generous with me. And so I want to, for the rest of my life, because I remember, I don't know if you know or not, but before, like, oh gosh, when I was young and had my children, I was broke as a joke. I drove a $500 car. My power was getting turned off all the time. My water was getting turned off all the time. As a matter of fact, okay, Paul, I'm going to call you out. So Paul Casto worked at the water department. And so he was just teasing me and giving me a hard time because we were at the chamber dinner last week. And he said, yeah, Karen was very famous at the city for many, many years. And what he meant was I was famous because my water got turned off all the time. Yeah. Wow. So, and I would call him up and say, dude, just give me to Monday. I'm going to go wait some tables and make some money. And, so, because my husband left. I call him my starter husband. He left us and paid no child support. So I was with 3 children with no child support and a school teacher pay. Figure them apples out.
Nope.
That's worse. That's worse than selling coffee. At least selling coffee. Yeah, I know. So I want to ask you something else that I think is kind of cool. So, you've already mentioned that, you kind of left your singing, not left it, but you kind of just put on the back burner for a little bit so that you can, raise your kids and take care of your kids and do something that makes a little bit of money so you can support your kids. So I want to ask you, after, reading The Power of Now, doing those things, and I know that you've always been like a spiritual seeker. You're like me. You love to go to church. You love God. You love people. You want to just do the next right thing. So I want to read you one of the favorite parts in Eckhart Tolle's, and I'm going to ask you something. It says, one of my favorite parts of The Power Now is when Eckhart talks about how people noticed the peaceful demeanor that he had and said, I want what you have. And he responded, you already have it. You just can't feel it because your mind is making too much noise. Oh, come on, somebody. So what do you do when your mind is making too much noise?
Yeah.
What's your secret?
Let me think about this. Give me a second. What do I do when the mind is making too much noise? I go walk.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. In fact, Jen the other day said, do you think we could start walking together again? Or do you need that time? In other words, I know walking is a big ROI for you, and I don't want to impede on that because then we're going to talk. But
right.
So motion creates emotion. But yeah, just changing your environment, putting your body into motion. And then I would say, like, I'm up at 3:30.
Yeah, I do too. I get up at 4 a.m. Sometimes 3:30, but always 4 a.m.
Yeah, I'm in the gym, and that for me is I've already done something hard for the day.
Yes, amen, brother.
And I have a personal and physical victory, so I'm already one step ahead of the sun.
Yeah,
if that makes, like,
I love
before the sun's come up.
Oh, me too.
I've already got it done, and I'm ready. That kind of how do you say? Keeping that commitment to yourself makes you look at problems and go, I got up at 3:30 when my body told me don't do it. I know somehow it transfers over. I know I can get through whatever this thing is, even if I got to escape a little bit, I got to walk, like whatever. This is all a part of the process. And maybe that's another thing is just starting to see life or things as this is an equation that I don't have the knowledge or skill set to solve yet, but it is solvable. I'm not a failure. I just don't know
yet.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what I don't know. But there's probably somebody I can hire that will be able to give me the key insight, or it'll all blow up. It'll fall into whatever falls, and then I'll realize, oh, this would have been the better way to do it. And then moving forward, I'll do that. Like, that's just the dues you pay.
Yeah, it is.
In
for me, one of the things that I do and how I started the podcast in 2020 is since I was 10 years old, I wrote affirmations because I grew up in an alcoholic home, and it was very unsure and very unsteady. And I looked around me and I said, I don't want to be like this. So I read all kind of books. I started reading books about all the greats, and I just started doing what they were doing, and I recited what they were doing. I started writing affirmations at 10 years of age and gratitude lists. Wow. And I still do that to this day. Yeah. To this day, I do that. And so for me, I have this one affirmation that I say every single day, and I write it every day, and it says, all the right people always show up to help me. All the right people always show up to help me. And it has been absolutely 100% true in my life. I expect that people are going to rise to help me. I expect
so then you are a frequency for
that energy.
For looking out, for the people that you need. And that is huge, especially when you've been burned a couple times.
Yeah.
You're guarded. You're not as welcoming. The right person could be
I should be guarded, but I'm not. Yeah. I don't even know how to do that.
That's hard.
I'm special. I don't even know how to do that. I don't. And hard. I don't want to do that. I want to stay open and loving, and no matter what. I don't want the world to change my excitement about all the possibilities. I'm too busy excited about what's going to happen in my life to be worrying about somebody messing up that. I'm too excited. And so the other thing, talking about walking, that is so important because nature does something to us. It really does. And I think that's what Eckhart Tolle's talking about. We're so busy listening to the world and listening to all the other stuff that we don't stop for a minute and know that all the things we need are inside of us. Everything we need is right inside of us. We just can't access this because we're too busy listening to the noise of the world. Now, you talk about the gym. I am like a freak about it. I literally, people talk about, I have to make myself good. I have to make myself not go to the gym. Like if I'm dead sick, I will drag my butt to that car and go to the gym. Right. I mean, and I know I've learned over the last few years not to do that because my body needs to rest. But I don't really do that rest stuff very good. I'm not. Are you good at the rest stuff?
I'm not good at the rest stuff.
I'm terrible at that. But we really, we need to be better at that, right?
Well, because burnout's a real thing.
It's a real thing.
When you burn out, you don't have inspiration. And it's trying to stay in a place of, because as an entrepreneur, you're just an accelerated creative.
I like that. Oh, I'm an accelerated creative. I'm writing that down.
You're presented with problems daily, and your job is to creatively solve them. So houses aren't selling. All right, I got to creatively come up with a way to do this. Coffee's not selling. I got to now that doesn't mean don't stop doing what you're doing until you come up with the creative process to do it. But that's what we do is and that was when I understood that about entrepreneurship. I didn't feel like I was leaving something with music because I just traded instruments. I went from guitar to business, but I still get to be a composer inside of it and create. And so the essence of what music is for me, creativity, getting what's on the inside out through melody, you can do that in business.
Yeah, you can. And you have I think of business as an opportunity to bless a lot of people. I really don't look at business as a way for me to make money. Now, I do make money. You have to make money to keep your business going. But for me, the essence of my spiritual thought about my business is that my business was created to bless as many people as I can. And to grow as many people as I can to their highest self. Because I've talked about that before, about the fact that, you remember when your mom, I don't know if your mom and dad tell you this, but remember when you were little and they said, who you hang out with matters. It's really important who you hang out with, watch who you hang with. And we just rolled our eyes. We rolled our eyes. And you know what? It turns out that every single scientist, every single neuroscientist, every single person of any value in the self-improvement sphere will tell you that watch who you surround yourself in your sphere, because it will absolutely...
I'm not sure what the statistic on this is, but you are friends with whoever the people you're in friendship with are in the same economic status as you.
Yeah.
No matter what, and that goes all the way up and all the way down. So, and that's just how it is. That's just the world. So if you want something different, then there's going to be a leaving of friendships that people aren't going to understand what you're doing. Well, I want to be something different. They're not going to understand that or go along with you, and you probably will end up losing friends. I would say you gain better friends. Because what it takes to the lessons you learn in building wealth are character lessons. It's not how do I get more skeezy, or how do I it's you get sharper, you get more generous.
It's like you're almost in a contest to see who can give the most to each other. Like, let me pour into you. And they've proven too in businesses, and I really have to watch that in businesses. If you have someone in business working in an office that's doesn't have good energy, not doing well, that will impact greatly the people in your business. It will impact people. So but I'm also kind of a freakazoid about energy. I'm really big about energy. I can feel people's energy. I've said this before, one of the greatest, and you remember your people said that to me, and it made me so happy. One of the greatest compliments someone can give me is they can say to me, I love your energy. And I just want to kiss them. I just want to kiss them on the face and say, thank you. You don't know what a compliment you gave me, because our energy can be felt. When we walk in the room, you don't have to say a word. You can feel. Can you feel it? I'm really susceptible to that. I have literally walked in stores and walked out of stores. Speaking of energy, this place has beautiful energy. But every place you've had, from your little bicycle cart to your Airstream trailer to your Thomas Drive to this one, it's good energy and sweet people. So you're going to do well here. I mean, you really are.
Do you think you can quantify that more? I'm just interested. Do you think, is it from, because I agree with you. I feel like your Google pictures of your business tell about the energy that you're putting off. You know what I mean? So is it the people smile? Is it they're just nice, or
I think the world's made of energy, and I think we sense it when we walk in the door. So I'm giving you an example. I had a guy that worked in my office, and I noticed that he kept coming into work with his shoulders down, and Tony Robbins calls it a state. You can tell by the state that people are in. How are they lifted? Are they walking in like this? And for those of you that can't see me, I've got my shoulders down, and I'm all sad. But he would come into the office, and I mean, within 30 minutes, I'd feel like, oh my gosh, what in the world? I feel like a wet blanket had been part. So I had to sit down with him and say, listen, I love you, but I don't know what's going on. But I would rather you come in here with 105-degree fever and the flu than walk in here with the energy that you're walking into my office with. And I did. And he changed.
Yeah, wow.
I told him that I couldn't have that. So I think that if people come in here in a bad attitude, I don't care, even if they're smiling, if they have a bad attitude and they don't feel loved by their boss. My people are so dang, we talked about that earlier. I've had the same people forever. They are so precious. And I just want to walk in the door and just, you can't do that because you're a guy, but I can just hug them up and smooch them. I just love them to pieces. But I think that people that are loved and treated well, and if they understand how important energy is to you, they walk in because they've started their day with high energy. They're doing the things that you and I talk about, like, walk, exercise, take care of yourself, and then come here and then take care of others. So I think it's just something you feel, and I feel it, and it's important to me. And I talk about it a lot in my company. So your people will do what you talk about. You have to obsessively carry your message of how you want your people to be.
It's the things that don't fit on a spreadsheet.
No.
There's no Google Sheets for energy.
And I'll
just have to be it.
Yeah, you just have to do it. And I think that you match the energy of the leader.
Yes,
if you,
I would agree.
There was something I heard the other day. I don't know if it's on Cody's one of the many 20 podcasts I listened to. They were talking about if you have a dysregulated leader, then your people will be dysregulated.
Oh, that's convicting. Yeah.
Yeah. And you have to really, and that's not something I have a problem with. I really, when I say I'm a happy ass, I mean, I'm really a happy ass. So I walk in that place, but there's something that I did at my business that I still do to this day. When I first built my business and before I opened it, I would walk around the building and pray for everybody who would ever walk in and everybody that would walk out, that they would walk in and feel the love and they would walk out and carry the love into the community. So every now and then when I get sidetracked and I start listening to the noise of the world, I will walk around in the middle of the day, walk around my building and pray as I walk around the building and thank God for it, and then thank God for all the people that come in and ask that I bless everybody that comes in and that everybody that walks out blesses someone. So I mean,
if you're putting that out, then
get it back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you get it.
You can't help but get it back. It's like a boomerang.
It's a frequency.
And it happens, yeah. And I know that sounds so woo-woo, but to me, the longer I've studied neuroscience and epigenetics and all that stuff, I would have loved being a neuroscientist. That would have been so much fun. It is so cool to study that because all the things that people made fun of me for when I was younger, people are talking about now that's not what we should do. So, you said you like to walk. What are some other practices that you do to steady yourself or make yourself more peaceful or help you continue to do what you're doing? What are some other practices? Because this is mind, body, and spirit, this show.
Yes. Okay. So I would say, the gym, that's kind of a staple.
Yeah.
You know what? This is important. We were open 7 days a week. And Sunday was our biggest day. We were spent. We had no energy.
I bet.
Because you would do all the planning that you could, and then somebody would call in sick. And, so anyway, it translated to a year, maybe a year and a half, close to that, of just nonstop, never taking a day off. And Jen and I, we're kind of figuring out what we are right now. I say we left religion and found faith, but
I'm with you.
One thing we still feel like are a good 10 principles to live by are the Big 10. And we both said this, if we can't just take a day off and the business continue to sustain, then maybe we shouldn't be doing this in the first place. So we decided, okay, we're going to take a day off. So what day are we going to take? Well, maybe we should take off a Monday or a Wednesday in restaurants. That's like the slowest day. But we got kids, and so what? Dad's going to be off on Monday when the kids are over
that
at
makes
school.
Sense.
So we decided. Well, I said, let's take off Sunday.
Yeah.
And really, our best day. If this is if God really did create the earth and this is a principle that He set up,
day of rest,
then we'll trust that He knows something about the algorithm that we don't know.
I think so.
Yeah. So we closed, and our at the time we had 3 shops, and we closed down to 1 shop by the end of that year when we decided to take a day off. And that shop outperformed all 3.
That's amazing. That's amazing. That's amazing.
And there's a part of me that says, okay, well, practically, you just didn't know how good of a location that shop was yet. And I do think it's part of it. But also, I think it's a part of what you're talking about. The frequency of the leader and the employees went way higher.
Yep.
Because they just had a day off, and actually now everybody gets 2 days off because, it's nice to have a day to do nothing and a day, I think, to work around your house.
Absolutely.
Like
it's
that.
Wonderful. And I will be honest with you and tell you that I used to be a workaholic. I think most of us entrepreneurs had this workaholic gene, and so part of it was because I had that starter husband that left, and I was left to take care of my children without any help. But also, I was from a family who had a really strong work ethic. Even in spite of my father's alcoholism, he showed up to work every day, drunk the day before or not. But, so that was my thing. So for the first, I would say 7 years of my company, I was slinging real estate 7 days a week. I did not take off ever. Now, I never work a Saturday, and I never work a Sunday. Now, do I do reels and stuff like that for my podcast? I do, but I love it. It's fun.
Right.
But I don't do, and now my agents can call me. I answer my phone 7 days a week for my agents. Anytime they call me, I answer, but I don't go to the office. I take off Saturday and Sunday, but it took me 7 years to do that. So at least you were smarter quicker than I was, because it really will hurt you.
It will.
It will hurt you, and it will hurt your marriage too.
It hurts it hurts you.
It hurts
you as a person. If you as a person are hurt, you can't show up into any relationship. So
that's
just having that one day where the brain shuts off and doesn't do anything. I'm not looking at numbers. I'm not looking at sales. Just I'm going to do nothing today. Oh my, that's a staple of the Jewish community.
Yeah.
That's
do nothing.
To do nothing.
Well, it's really hard for me to do. I think even when I'm sick, okay, I'm working on this. I still have this thing. This is a psychological thing. I think if I'm sick or if I'm unproductive, I'm not as worthy to live on the planet. I didn't mean to get that deep, but I'm really working on that because I'm not as bad about it. But I really do. I think, okay, if I'm sick or if I'm resting, I'm not producing good for anybody. But that is absolutely an untruth because it's in the stillness and the quiet and the reflection that I can grow. And I've gotten that way lately. I'm real bad about sitting in quiet, but I'm making myself do it because that's when thoughts come to me.
Yeah, but boredom
is so smart. But I don't want to do it.
Which is crazy, right? Yeah.
Oh.
And I've noticed too, like you probably audiobooks, podcasts,
constant.
Intellect,
constant.
And then that can become noise.
Yeah.
That can become the avoidant to, like you said, going down deep and finding the answer that you need, which is really what you should be doing.
I know.
Because you're the person that knows the equation better than anybody else that's outside of the world. That you can match up thought patterns and stuff like that. But if you really just sit down with it, you can get to a place of peace, knowing this is the thing I need to do and I'm going to do it, or that's the thing I need to do and I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
There's peace in that too, just acknowledging I'm not going to do that.
Well, I am doing it now. One day I remember, this is so cool how God works. I was doing one of my times when I was walking around my building, and a lot of times when I'm walking around the building, I was playing praise and worship music, and I was walking around the building and just singing, and that's the only time I'll sing when nobody's around because I'm horrible. I am not like you. I have zero musical talent whatsoever. My daughter is amazing. I'm horrible. So I'm doing that, and all of a sudden my stuff didn't work. My earpods didn't work. The radio, it wasn't working, and I was aggravated at first. I was like, dang, where's my noise? Where's my stuff? And I was able to walk around that building and think through some things, and some things came to me. But things cannot come to you if you're constantly got something else coming at you. You know, and that's hard. You know, that's probably the hardest thing for me, is to stop. I'm better at it now, way better at it now. But even in the gym sometime, I find myself, if I don't have my ear pods in with the podcast going, I'm like, can I work out? I mean, if my Oura Ring's on, did I really work out? You know, so it's crazy. So what I wanted to ask you about the Alex Hormozi thing that you went to. You just went to a workshop with Alex Hormozi, and he's got a podcast called The Game. And you said you spent like 4 days there?
It was 4 days. 2 of those days of travel. So it was just 2 intense days of 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Being around really, really high level entrepreneurs, executives. It was a scaling workshop. This was the biggest takeaway. Your job as the CEO is to work on the problem that is at hand. Said differently, you like to do the things that you are good at. So you like to do the marketing or the reels, and you're good at that. The stuff you're not good at is getting your numbers, Daniel, down hard packed. You need to stop. And you need to not move on because the business is bottlenecked at the thing that you are trying to avoid.
Oh,
and
God.
You can't listen to a bunch of podcasts to escape it. You have to stop. You have to figure it out. And once you figure that out, then you can move on to the next thing. And it works in that order. And if you don't do it in that order, then you're building unstably, is that the word? You're not building the right.
You're not building a good foundation.
And you're gonna have to come back
and
fix
address it.
And it's like,
oh
why
my God.
is that so? That's
simple.
like the stuff my mom said.
It's simple. It's simple.
I had to go pay $5,000 to hear somebody tell me to do this. You know? But it's true. It's different when somebody's got $100 million company and is, saying just do this and you'll be in a way better place. But that's it. You do what the next bottleneck is, and every time you solve a problem, then congratulations, you just climbed the mountain and you now have an elevated view to see all the other problems that and that's what I say, accelerated creatives.
I love that.
We have the gift, if we can view it that way, to be constantly tapping into the creative gene to problem solves for the betterment of your business and people, and hopefully that's why who you're around is so important.
So important,
right? Like
so important.
when people are like, "You want to go grab a beer?" I'm like, "You have time to go get a beer?
Really? Seriously?
You have time to
I know.
do that?
That's hilarious.
That's crazy. What is that like?
That's adorable.
I gotta. If I got any time to myself, I gotta think through all these.
You know, if somebody's going to hang out with me, I'll tell them, you can volunteer with me, or you can run or work out with me, or work with me.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it's kind of funny. Most of my friends work with me.
Yeah.
That's how they spend time with me. They work with me, and my family works with me.
Why shouldn't your friends be the people
I love
that
it.
you work with?
I love it. I never have understood that thing, like, don't work with your friends or your family. That's bull crap. That's just a bullish crap, because who more would I want to bless than my friends and my family? I love it. Makes me so happy. So I know we're getting towards the end, but I want to talk a little bit about growth and expansion, because you mentioned to me the other day that is it going to be a franchise, or is it a franchise? You're working towards that end. So tell me, or am I giving away secret? Well, I know.
No.
Listen. And I don't got another question to ask you in a minute, and I already know the answer. That's my answer, but I want to hear your answer. But so, where are you going? What's next for Panama City Coffee?
We are a franchise company.
Yeah.
And here's what we are. We this is actually kind of cool. Panama City Coffee is the coffee company. Kingdom Come franchise is the franchise company. Why Kingdom Come? Because the more I do this, the more I interact with people, the more I'm building systems and structures to better people's lives and my life. And to me, when Jesus said the kingdom of the kingdom of God is now at hand.
Mm-hmm.
I think what he meant in my mind was, hey, entrepreneurs,
build others up.
Build stuff that helps people.
Yeah.
And business is a powerful way to do that. So whereas I thought, the kingdom of God was go to church and no, man, the kingdom of God is being integritous, being having character, and bringing people along the way with you, and doing
being
your best.
Generous, what you have learned, and taking that out into the world. Yeah. It's just the greatest gift ever. It's the greatest gift ever. So I'm going to ask you another question. I know my answer, and I'll tell you my answer. What makes Panama City Coffee? There's other coffee shops around here. In fact, it's no secret that I've always wanted a coffee shop. Maybe one day. I've always wanted
franchising.
I know. I've always wanted a coffee shop, bookstore, and an art gallery. That's always been my dream. I've wanted that for a long, long time. But I'm so busy doing all the other. Maybe when I'm 80, I'll do that. I don't know. But what makes Panama City Coffee better than or so special? What is it about your coffee? Because it is freakishly delicious. So what's different about your coffee?
I will answer that question by flipping it and saying, well, what is special about Beachy Beach real estate or my happy ass life?
Yeah. Heart.
It's heart. And it's that it's somebody like you at the forefront of it with heart, doing things that people say, yeah, that's right. That's good. And so, I was just saying from the airport, there's the flyer of Beachy Beach, and it's you and your family on the, you intentionally chose that kind of picture because you wanted a feeling when people saw it to say, hey, if Beachy Beach real estate, it feels family, it feels togetherness.
It's a feeling.
Intentional. So all these things that we're talking about are intentionally mixed into the ethos of the coffee company. And can you taste it? Yeah.
Oh, yes.
I would say you can taste it.
Oh, I can taste it.
Can you feel it? And it comes down to everything from I'm looking at our fridge display right there, right? And like it came with 3 tiers and it was a total pain in the butt to get the middle rack out. Anyway, I made Matt take out the middle rack. Why? Because it just didn't look right. And it was like, okay, we could do it, but we could just leave it in there. But that would be, and that's a small example, but I guess it's not wavering.
You felt it.
Yeah, that's it. You can feel when it's right and you can feel when it's not right. And then look, you do your best. And so if that's your best at the end of the day and it fell a little bit short, there's nothing you can do. But you doing your best with all of your strength, that is, I think, what it means to build the kingdom.
Yeah.
And so
that's what makes it different.
I feel like people, and so here's the scary thing, right? Is then if I am disintegritous, if I lie, cheat, that frequency that's been leading dulls. And I know this, that
it all matters.
It all matters, and lack of character dulls businesses.
Absolutely.
Whoever's at the head, once they start to lose whatever it was that got them there, that you start to feel it in the menu design, in the floors not being swept, and I mean, in it tears. It all matters. It all matters. It all matters. So. Yeah. What's special? I don't know. I just that word.
Well, I think it's delicious. It is, I don't have any allegiance to any other coffee shop. I mean, there's some good coffee shops, but I will tell you, and I'm not saying it because I'm sitting here with you, I've told other people too, this is hands down the best coffee.
No.
Hands down the best coffee. And it just is. And so I love it. And
I'm crying.
I've loved watching you build your stuff. I've really loved it. And I'm going to continue to watch you build what you're building. It's really cool. It's really cool. And I'm so thankful for you. I'm I'm thankful. I want to thank a few other people. I really need to thank Shore House Furniture for believing in me. They're so precious. Elysium Med Spa. Oh, thank you for my Botox and my hormones. I mean, I can finally sleep at night. Oh, I'm going to tell you a little quick story because this is kind of funny.
Yep.
Ashley doesn't even know this. So I am 66. And for years, they told us women that we couldn't take hormones, that it was black box against it, make cancer, all this stuff, and it was all by a bunch of men that didn't even know women anyway.
Right, yeah.
Another story. So we found out that's not true. So I'm taking hormones again. And oh my God, I take progesterone at night and it helps you sleep. Well, first of all, I don't drink. I don't take any drugs of any kind. I maybe take 2 Advil, maybe 4 Tylenol a year. So nothing goes into my body that's not meant to be in my body, right? Well, except for the Botox, but that's another story. So I take the progesterone and it makes me drunk. I mean, literally drunk. So last night I was going to do a podcast, a little pop-up podcast. I sat there and I realized, and I did it. I said, girl, you can't put that out there. They're going to think you took up drinking. I mean, I was literally drunk.
Wow.
Because it makes you so sleepy.
Okay.
Yeah,
wow.
It makes you really sleepy. Crazy. And I thought, if I put that, Ashley's going to say, girl, have you lost your mind? So, yeah, so I am very thankful for Elysium Med Spa. Not for making me feel drunk, but for helping me sleep. So, with my hormones. So, I really appreciate them. I've got Chris Dixon with American Home Shield Warranty. It's a big national company that believes in me. I am so grateful. Lendingham Mortgage. I don't mention everybody, every podcast, but I try to make sure through my TikTok, through my Instagram, that people know how very much I appreciate these people. And obviously, I'll be doing some stuff at your shop, not because of sponsorship, but because of love of you. Love of you. And I'm so proud of what you've done. I'm proud of watching your spiritual journey, your family journey, your entrepreneurial journey, and I'm going to enjoy watching it for years to come. Do you have any parting words before we go tonight? And we're doing this on site, by the way, y'all. We came to Daniel.
Yes.
Yeah. We came to him. We're on site at Panama City Coffee.
Space to be in.
Yeah. It's a great space.
Yeah, we are. So we are franchising, and that's a whole world that we are confidently stepping into. But we just believe we've learned a lot of things that we can then help other business owners. Not everybody. I mean, it's not about money for this. It's about expanding, and it's about partnering with the right people. So
absolutely,
we want to partner with the right people, but with as many right people as we feel like, and help other people start their own Panama City coffees. And then actually just the back of this building is a commercial kitchen that people in Bay County can rent time. So the way the laws are that if you've got like farmer's market or cottage food, you got to cook in a commercial kitchen. This is a commercial kitchen that you can rent, and then you can take that food and you can go out.
Okay.
So they Forge and Feed is the company, so we share the rent on this place.
That's cool.
The front end. Yeah, it's really awesome, really beautiful back there. Forge and Feed, people can check it out. And if you need a commercial kitchen, then check that out.
I don't even like to use my regular kitchen, much less a commercial kitchen.
Well, you just DoorDash.
Yeah,
right?
I'm a DoorDash girl. Yeah. Don't tell people. Keep that quiet, okay? Daniel, thank you so much. I appreciate you taking the time to spend this time with us. And I want to thank Ashley, too, my wonderful producer, because without her, this would not be possible. There's people behind the scenes that make this happen, and I am so grateful for every one of them. I'm grateful to you. I'm grateful to the God above who made us, and it makes me know that he put this creativity in me to share with the world. And thank you for being my friend, and I love you.
Love you.
And I always end. Be sweet, y'all.